Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Michael Jordan didn't have a good record against Larry Bird, especially in the playoffs. And the LeBron fans are still at it. And I told you before what these guys are all about in these Facebook groups. They put up memes that are like 5 to 10 years old, right? They done ran out of information. They done ran out of material. It's just like, how do you keep putting up somebody else's material? My dog is drinking water. How you keep putting up somebody else's material, period? Where's your material? Once somebody puts out some material, guess what? The LeBron fans will share that over and over and over again. This guy will share it. This guy, like they made it. Like, really, you can't even come up with your own stats, your own numbers, your own memes. That's how much these guys don't even know the history of the NBA. This is the LeBron fans, okay? And then, like I said, they put up memes from 5 and 10 years ago, right? That basically doesn't make any sense, right? They don't make any sense. So I wanted to hit on something real quick. And I had football playing earlier, but I'm not really into it like I used to be into it, right? It's just not the same. The NFL football, they just don't have the quarterbacks that they used to have in the 2000s, in the 2010s. They just don't have it like that no more, right? They used to have a lot of great ones back in the day. They just don't have them like that no more. I don't know what's going on, but you know, they have more of these running quarterbacks than it. I'm saying this because I don't know if the NFL is gonna get like the NBA, right? When we think about great quarterbacks of like 2000s, 2010s, you know, we think about the Drew Breeses, the Peyton Mannings, the even Brady. What's this guy's name? Man, the guy. Man, his name just keep going around me. The guy that greatest show on turf. This guy, the Ben Roethlisbergers. I said the Drew Breeses. Even guys like Cam Newton was great back then. You just don't have those same guys no more. And I think the Donovan McNabbs, you just don't have those guys no more like you used to, man. You got even Aaron Rodgers was, you know, I know he's playing now, but he's more of a, you know, 210s type of guy. You know, you talk about Brett Favre, was 2000s. You talk about Andrew Luck. He might have been playing still to this day. What's this guy's name that used to play for the Chargers? Oh man, the guy always used to run his mouth a lot. Even the Michael Vicks in the 2000s. The Eli Mannings. Remember Vince Young was good at one time. These guys were just different. Matt Ryan, he had a good run. Tony Romo, you had a good run. Oh, that's who it is, Phillip Rivers. The quarterback competition just isn't that, just ain't that exciting no more. It just isn't. You got, I'm not trying to say all of them, but you really had guys that could throw the ball for 300 yards a game. We saw that last year. It was very few guys that could throw the ball for 300 yards a game. And I think Tom Brady was talking about this last year, about these guys are not really working on the mechanics. And that we've saturated this league with all these running quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson who can't throw, especially when it comes to the postseason. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to trend towards the NBA. You know, when the NBA lost all, you know, their 90 players retired or got old, the ratings started to drop in the NBA. Look, I look at a guy like Mahomes, right? And this guy can make all the damn passes. But he can also scramble when he needs to. He can throw the ball on the run. He only runs when needed, and he still picks up good yards and stuff like that. Not being ultra fast, but just being elusive enough to get it done. And I think that the NFL is, I don't know, man. We thought Deshaun Watson was going to be great. Aaron Rodgers is on his last leg. The quarterback for San Francisco is yet to be seen. They got a great quarterback over there in Houston. I forget this guy's name. Let's see what he's going to do. But, and that's what I was saying before. Like, if they ever start comparing Mahomes to Brady, it's not going to work out. The quarterbacks that Mahomes is facing in this little era right here just ain't the same. Not only that, the defenses, right? You remember those Pittsburgh's defenses in the 2000, then we go into the 2010s, right? We talk about some of those Colts defenses with Peyton Manning. We talk about some of those Jets defenses. Of course, New England's defenses. Baltimore's defenses from the 2000s and the 2010s. Buccaneers had great defenses. I think Seattle had great defenses at one time. And it just goes on and on and on. New York Giants had good defenses in the late 2000s into the 2010s. And you guys can name some more in the 2010s. They're just not the same. Now that Mahomes is facing, those defenses that these guys were facing in the past, the Drew Breeses, the Manning, the Brady's, all these quarterbacks I named off in the 2010s, they were facing great defenses. If I didn't say the Pittsburgh defenses, it just wasn't. The quarterbacks were better throwers, and the defenses were all-time great in those eras. So I ain't trying to beat up on Patrick Mahomes because I think he's just at a level that's better than everybody else. You know, we got Macaulay Culkin throwing for the Bengals, that quarterback, but we don't know what's really going to happen to him. Is he going to stay healthy? What's going on? We thought he would be able to challenge Mahomes. He don't have a damn offensive line again. So Mahomes, before his career, he might pull off 3 to 4 more championships. He doesn't need a whole bunch of top all-pro, all-star receivers. He don't need it. Yes, Kelsey is great. He's got Kelsey, but everybody needs somebody. But I'm just saying, you know, Tom Brady had Gronk for all those years, but he didn't really have no all-time great receivers like that. I guess you could say Wes Welker. He never won a championship with Wes Welker. If I'm not mistaken, I think he got beat in the championship with Wes Welker. Now, he had some good receivers, but for all those times he won the Super Bowl, he didn't have no all-time great. A lot of them. Peyton Manning did. Peyton Manning has some pretty good receivers. But let's get into this. I just hope the NFL doesn't get like the NBA and really start dissing their past players, because in trying to make this Mahomes GOAT debate, because it's going to fail. His quarterback competition ain't the same, just to me, right? You could say so many guys that was on the same level back then, the Breezes, the Mannings, the Bradys, all these different type of guys were just, it was so, the quarterback position, it was just a lot of Aaron Rodgers back then. It was just better back then. Drew Luck was good for a hot minute, and it was just better. Russell Wilson was better back then. It was just a better. I'm just trying to tell you. If they try to start comparing what Brady went through and start dissing other past eras, it's not going to hold up, because the quarterbacks were better back then and the defense was better back then. So let's get into this. So as we was talking about Michael Jordan, people don't understand. And we have these games now. When Michael Jordan first came into the league, there's guys with every single Michael Jordan game just about. Like, I'm talking about regular season, playoffs, whatever, especially in the 80s. And what you will see, guys, is Michael Jordan was better in the 80s than LeBron ever was in his entire career. Check this out. You will watch these videos, I mean, these games, and the opposing team is cheering on Michael Jordan. When he's like in his rookie season, his second season, his third season, they're cheering this guy on all damn game. He was like the second coming of, I don't know, really, maybe Wilt Chamberlain? Everybody wanted to see Wilt Chamberlain play because they was like, okay, we heard about it, but we want to see if this guy is really scoring 50 a game, 70 a game, grabbing 25, 30 rebounds a game, and having 8 blocks. So when they heard about Michael Jordan in his rookie season, his second season, his third, the opposing team fans were cheering this guy on all game. And when he went out of the game, at the end of the game, they were giving this guy a standing ovation. I've never seen nothing like it in my life. I haven't seen nothing like that in the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s. I've never seen nothing like that. It's crazy. And they wouldn't do that for LeBron because there's really nothing spectacular about this guy. Dunks and layups, they wouldn't be amazed by that. They were amazed by Michael Jordan doing these crazy moves amongst trees in the lane and making these shots. They were amazed how quick this guy was, how high he could jump. Him blocking the shots of centers, stealing everybody's ball, all this stuff. This guy was just like 100 miles an hour all damn game, like he wasn't human. And 90% of the players were black. And that's what gets me when they say, oh, well, the Jordan playing against plumbers and all this stuff, unathletic white guys. No, the NBA back then was probably about, no, I'm saying he was playing on the court that day when he was playing the game. The players were 98% black on the court when he's playing. In the league, it's like 95% black. Period. So if Larry Bird and his team, the Celtics, you had Bird, you have McHale, Danny Ainge out there killing them. Bill Walton was on the team. Cowens was on the team. Great Kite was on the team. I say Bill Walton. These guys were destroying black players. They were destroying them in the 80s. So if these unathletic white guys were destroying black players in the 80s, what does that make the black players? This Celtics team beat the brains out of Philly. We had one of the most athletic players of all time, Dr. J. What about Hakeem? They destroyed Hakeem and Ralph Sampson and a bunch of other black guys on that Houston team. Destroyed them in the finals. Unathletic white guys. Destroyed them. So the LeBron fans need to make up their mind. Was Jordan playing against unathletic white guys in the 80s? So how come he couldn't beat Bird and his unathletic white guys on that team? They don't know what to say. So I was watching it. I've seen it before. But this game where Michael Jordan scored, what was it, 63 against the Celtics? Oh. So at the end, well, the Bulls were beating up on them just about when they got to the second quarter, almost until the end of that game. They still had like a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. In the Celtics came back. And they were talking about, oh, this might be the biggest upset of all time. So no, it was no time when Michael Jordan was supposed to even win a game. They was on game 2 in a best of 3. And they said it was going to be one of the biggest upsets of all time if the Bulls even won a game. That's crazy. And I'm talking because that's how great that Celtics team was. They lost one game at home. So the Bulls were up by 10 even in the fourth quarter. And the Bulls pretty much whooping them all game. Just about. Orlando Woolridge, if I'm not mistaken, start breaking it up in that fourth quarter. And here comes the Celtics. And then the Celtics, right at the end of the game, go ahead by 2. And the game is pretty much over. The Bulls called a timeout. I think it was like 4 to 6 seconds on the clock. So the Bulls had a chance to tie the game or win the game. So the pass came to Michael Jordan, right? At half court, because they advanced the ball. Ball came to Michael Jordan. He went up to the three. He dribbled up to the three-point line and shot it. And they said the game was over. Nope, they blow the whistle, and somebody fouled Michael Jordan at the three-point line. I thought you're supposed to get 3 free throws. Now, you guys, maybe it was different back then, but I thought Mike was supposed to be shooting 3 free throws. And if he would have hit all 3, it would have ended the game, or they would have won. So with no time on the clock, Jordan steps to the free throw line, and I keep hearing the announcer saying Jordan can tie it and send it to overtime. And I'm thinking, well, he's just saying that because, if he misses, if he hits only 2 of the 3. Now, did they cut the other shot? I don't know. I watched him sing one shot, and then they say he's under so much pressure, blah, 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 that, him being that young. But he's been under so much pressure to hit the other one and send it to overtime. He hits the other one. They said, we're going to overtime. I'm like, what? What about the third shot? So, you guys correct me. Was his foot on the line? I never heard that. All I heard was Jordan takes the 3, and then he got fouled. And Celtics were pissed. Do you only get 2 shots back then if you shoot the 3 and get fouled at the 3-point line? Or is it some end of the game thing to where if you get fouled at the 3-point line, you only get 2? Or is that just a rule period back then? You only get 2 shots at the 3-point line. I don't know. But that game, he should have got 3 shots to win that game. And if he would have hit all 3, that game would have been over. And they would have pulled off the biggest upset of all time. That's what they were saying back then. It was going to be the biggest upset if they won that game. The Bulls. So, of course, the Bulls went into overtime and they lost. Mike don't have the personnel like that. 4 top 75 players on that team and 1 Hall of Famer on that Celtics team. Against a second-year player, Michael Jordan. Coming off a broken foot, where they told him not to even play in the playoffs. Was that 87? No, that was 86, wasn't it? Yeah, it was 86. And he still scored 43 first game. Was it 69 second game and 19 the next game? So why they have LeBron fans always say, oh man, but Danny Ainge scored more than him in the third game, in the closeout game. What do you want from the guy? He got to come back out and score 50 again? He damn near had a triple-double in that third game where they got swept. So it was just commonplace for a number 8 seed to get swept back then. That was nothing. You know what I'm saying? Guys got the job done, put the pedal to the metal, and swept the number 8 seed. The Bulls swept teams. The Lakers swept teams that was number 8. That's just how it was. It wasn't like no playing around in the LeBron James era, right? When you was a great team, you show you was a great team. You went out there and you won 60 games all the time. You didn't let some other LeBron super teams only had the number 1 seed 1 time each. 1 time in Miami and 1 time in Cleveland. He was on the super team for 8 freaking years. And they only had the number 1 seed 1 time. You know, the Kitty Cat Boston team get number 1 seed. The Derrick Rose teams get the number 1 seed. It's just embarrassing. Guys, I try to tell you, this guy can't play pedal to the metal all season. He don't have it like that in him. That's why I was trying to say last year, look, the reason why the Lakers keep going into the play-in is because of LeBron. If they want to be in the middle of the pack, 5, 4, something like that, they really got to play real basketball. They're in the West. They really got to go out there and play every night. But they can, falter and melt down and lose all season because they had to play in. Not only that, it's more media attention. Oh, LeBron need help. What the Lakers going to do? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, they going on a winning streak. All this stuff. for a play-in team. So the media likes this. They like to talk about a losing team. And in fact, like I told you, if LeBron wasn't on that team is no question about it. They'd probably be like a number 6, maybe a number 5 seed. But the competition, well, I won't say that. But we all knew if he could get past Denver, he probably could beat some of them other teams. Right? They beat him in the regular season. He probably beat some of them other teams. It was nothing. So yeah. Michael Jordan, what he did for the popularity of the league to carry it on, or what Bird and Magic did, is something LeBron has never done. He's never carried the league and continued to make it popular. Even Kobe Bryant, with all the stuff he went through legally, was carrying the league more than LeBron James. LeBron was carrying the media, or the media was carrying him. Right? And while the media was carrying him, Kobe won back-to-back championships on his watch of him being the MVP. You had dudes that was so dumb back then, analysts saying they'd rather have LeBron's game. They'd rather have LeBron on their team. LeBron is a better player. They said this, 2009, 2010. And as he melted down in 2009, 2010 with the number 1 overall seeds, they was looking stupid. They were saying LeBron was a better player. I heard it. But guess who was saying who was the best player? The coaches, the players in the league at that time, even LeBron. These players and coaches who were in the league, they said Kobe was the best player in the league because of his skills, right? That's what they were saying on the offensive end and the defensive end. That's just the facts. So it's no doubt about it that LeBron James could never play in the 80s and 90s. Well, he could play. Would he be great? Could he just dribble around like that? Palming the ball, carrying the ball, traveling? He couldn't do that. Could he barrel to the basket with a stiff arm? No, somebody would knock him out. They wouldn't wait. They wouldn't wait for a ref to blow the ball. They'd choke him out. Just another big dude. Michael Jordan didn't disrespect people on the court by doing a stiff arm down the lane or elbowing people as he went down the lane to get a shot. And like I said before, these guys here in his era, they're cowards. You would let a dude do that's beyond basketball. You would disrespect somebody by throwing an elbows and doing a straight arm into somebody's chest, neck, head. You know, I'm gonna cry to the ref. No, they're gonna get up and fight you. That's what they're gonna do in the 80s, especially the 90s. Could you imagine Dennis Rodman playing LeBron James? LeBron James will get so frustrated. What Dennis Rodman said, oh, it's easy to play him. He ain't got no moves. He ain't got no moves. That's crazy. He don't. You got something. Michael Jordan was still in high school. High school when Larry Bird and Magic Johnson was winning championships in the NBA. What does that mean? That means these guys already had their great teams assembled. Right? You can't start winning, I don't know in what era, until you got a great team assembled. This is professional sports. Who is it? Dan Marino was great. He never won a Super Bowl because he never had a great team assembled like that. That was greater than somebody else, greater than other teams. So Michael Jordan started winning when he got a great team assembled. Isaiah Thomas, same thing. Isaiah Thomas was getting beat down in the damn 80s. Getting beat down. Not until he assembled a great team. Let me ask you a question. How did LeBron get beat by one plumber without an All-Star teammate, no All NBA teammate, no All NBA defensive teammate, no top 75 teammate? 2 years in a row, Joker got beat by a plumber. LeBron did. And LeBron had an All NBA teammate, All defensive teammate, top 75 teammate, All-Star teammate, and two of them on the same team are the same. My fault. They're the same. Both of them are the same. All NBA, All-Star, Hall of Fame. LeBron's not defensive. Swept and gentlemen swept 2 years in a row by one plumber. And they're talking about what Jordan couldn't beat Bird. Well, mention what he had on his team. He damn sure ain't got what Joker ain't got what Larry Bird had on his team. And Joker ain't better than Larry Bird. Stop it. Stop it. Tell me what you think.